Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tips, tools, and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively.
Today I'm out here at the beach, and as I was walking, I began to think a little bit about the way that we handle transition or waves of change in our life. For me specifically, nothing but waves of change. I wanted to kind of share some lessons that I've learned that might be able to help you throughout your waves of change. When we experience change, there's a lot of different steps that we go through. Sometimes in the beginning stages, when we know that we need to change, we're a little hesitant to do that because maybe we've been stuck in a certain thought pattern or a certain living situation or a certain job, career path, and it may not resonate with us anymore, but we do understand that we need to make a change, but we're terrified of doing that because it's going to rattle everything and shake things up. So that can kind of cause us to suffer with either depression or anxiety because we aren't in alignment with our soul's purpose. And then once we finally accept that we need to change, we start moving forward on that path, and maybe we've had a few road bumps because we don't exactly know what we're doing or where we're going. We just know that we aren't happy with where we're at. And that can cause us a lot of worry and stress and anxiety as well. And then finally, once we get to that point of accepting the change, we take the steps forward and we embrace that change. And then we get into a position where we're stuck in between the decision and the actual action being taken place. And that can cause us a lot of anxiety and fear and worry and other types of emotions as well. And then once you actually move forward on that path and you've gotten to get through the change, you look back and you begin to question, did I make the right decision? So those waves kind of come and go as we go through that process. And currently I'm in probably the second stage where I've accepted the change and now I've made the decision to change and take a huge leap with letting go of a job that no longer fulfilled me and moving to a new place that I feel more in alignment with who I am. But a lot of those emotions of excitement, fear, anxiety, stress, all are coming to the surface, and that's very natural and very normal. But if you don't process those emotions, if you don't allow them to come up and have a good understanding of what they are, and you just kind of stuff them down, then that keeps you in a stagnant energetic pattern where you can't actually move forward and put yourself in more of an alignment with where you want to be from a higher soul level. So in the beginning, when I was really vacillating on, I know I need to make a change, but I don't know what, I started to just kind of find myself traveling and doing things that I know that I enjoyed to do because I knew I wanted to move. I just didn't know exactly where I wanted to be, and I didn't know how I was going to get there, and I kept focusing on that. But the moment I started to travel, it started to open me up to new ideas, new opportunities, and new thought patterns and a new way of life that I could see easier, more clearly than I could had I just been stagnant and kind of in that state of depression and, woe's me, I can't get out of this. So if you're in that stage, then I suggest you do some things that can pull you out of that negative thought pattern. You see, when we're stuck in a negative thought pattern, we're in an emotional state of resistance. And when we're in that state of resistance, things aren't flowing to us easily. Flowing like water, like the ocean, right? But when you shift yourself into a positive thought pattern, that opens you up to an emotional state of allowance. And you may not know what you want to do or where you want to go, but the only way that you can figure that out is that if you actually get out there and start experiencing things and seeing what it is that you do and don't like. And don't focus on the things that you don't like, focus on the things that you do like, because the more you focus on that, the more those are going to come into your reality, into your existence, and that can bring you joy and excitement. So that's that first stage of change. And then, once you get to the point where, maybe you've applied to a whole bunch of jobs, you've put yourself out there, you don't really know what you want to do, but you've applied to several jobs, and now you've got two opportunities. You've got, say you've got a job on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. They're both very similar pay, similar circumstances, but you don't know what to do. You don't know what choice to make. When you are in that sense of stress, confusion, you're putting your energetic system into a state of pressure, like a pressure cooker. And when you're in that state, you can't have the energy flowing to you organically or naturally. So the best thing that you can do when you have a big decision to make and you're really vacillating on it and you don't know what to do is to step away from the decision and go do something that raises your vibration, that puts you in that positive state of being to allow that acceptance to come in. You're not avoiding the decision. What you're doing is you're just shifting from that negative vibratory state to a more positive vibratory state. And when you do that, it allows that energy to flow through, and those decisions can be made much easier when you're in alignment with who you are. And our negative thoughts put us in that emotional state of resistance, and that our positive thoughts put us in that emotional state of allowance. And when you're totally stressed and worried, you're stuck. You get yourself really stuck and you can't get out of it. And then you start vacillating on it and it just snowballs because you're creating momentum behind it. In that place of decision making, take a step back, go do something that you enjoy. Because when you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're in natural alignment with who you are. So now when you take it to the next step where you've actually made that decision, say you've chosen the path of the East Coast job, and now you're kind of in between that position of I'm in the present moment at my current job, which I don't love, and now I'm stepping out and waiting for the next job to come into my existence. That's the limbo stage. That's kind of where I'm at right now. The best way to handle the limbo stage is to not try to speed it up. I think that's the hardest thing, at least for me. I've wanted to speed it up just to get through that emotional aspect of how I've been feeling. It's almost like a sense of sadness of closing a chapter, but a sense of elation opening a new chapter. And I just want that part to be over, right? I want that limbo stage to be over. But the best thing that you can do is live in the present moment, live in the now, relish where you're at right now. Use that time to say goodbye to those people that, have been a part of your life for so long. Maybe those coworkers or those people, your neighbors, whoever it may be, that have been a part of your life for so long. Do things that allow you to feel those emotions, process those emotions, and let them go, right? Because those negative emotions are like, I kind of explain them like, they're like malware or a virus. They kind of infect your computer system, which is your body, your brain, and it brings you a sense of discomfort or, misalignment. So when you actually honor that time that you have in that limbo stage, it allows you to close that door in a much more meaningful way, and you feel more fulfilled in that process, and it also keeps you in that positive vibratory state. So when you do step into that next chapter in your life, whether it's a move or a job, whatever it may be, a new relationship, you are at a higher vibration. And when you're at a higher vibration, you are bringing more of that beauty into your current situation that you'll be stepping into. So it's really a very good way to accept and honor that time and close that door on that past situations. And then of course, once you take that step and you get to the point where you've moved to the East Coast and you've accepted that job, you're gonna probably have some of those emotions come up of, did I make the right decision? I'm scared, maybe I didn't make the right decision. And it's important to understand whether you chose the job on the East Coast or the West Coast, every choice you make opens yourself up to new probabilities and new possibilities. So there's never a wrong decision. Even if you had chosen the West Coast job, you would have opened yourself up to new possibilities that would continue to guide you along your soul's path. And when you follow that internal guidance, which are called our feelings and our emotions, then that can help guide you to where you need to be it's important to understand that no matter what choice you make, there's no right or wrong. It's based on your own decision and your own choice. And then that opens up new possibilities for you. So start to feel those feelings of fear, or looking back and feeling guilty, or feeling like maybe I made the wrong decision, then don't focus on that. Focus on the new opportunities that you have. You know, maybe you're still feeling a little uneasy about choosing that particular job on the East Coast, and that will open yourself up to new opportunities. Maybe there was a reason why you chose that job, because no matter where we are in our life, we are always exactly where we are meant to be at that particular point in time on that particular timeline. So if you look at our timelines like roads, and you're at a fork in the road and you choose right or left, sometimes those roads connect later on, right? You are always where you are meant to be at any given point or any time. So if that helps ease any of that stress going through these waves of change, then I hope it does for you, because this has definitely been quite the journey for me, and I hope that I was able to help you tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively, and give you some guidance as to how to apply some of those things to your own personal life. Take care, guys.
You deserve to navigate your life in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.theexistentialempath.com.